Hello, YouTube neighbor. It's been a long time since I've posted any quality content on this channel. It's been a long time since I've sat down and even talked to you all and said hello. I don't even know if anybody watches this channel still. If you do, drop a hello into the comments box below. Just curious to see who watches these things or cares for that matter. But a lot's happened in my life, and after we lost Ed, Aussie 50, I didn't post any videos because he was one of my main inspirations for this, and it kind of made me sad to do that. But between that and like not having the space with my current living situation to make quality YouTube videos, I just fell out of it for a while. And things are changing once again. I work at another performance shop now. I've been making YouTube videos regularly for the last 9 months, which you can see up here. I work at a place called Finish Line Industries. We have a beautiful facility here. I'll give you a tour at the end of this video. We have a DynoJet all-wheel drive dyno. We are a full-service facility here, and the people that are here are talented, and they're people that I went to high school with, actually. So it's kind of like buddies having a reunion here. We bust each other's balls and have a great time. If you were around on this channel when I worked at the lab, which is almost 10 years ago at this point, I've been here since 2006. But yeah, if you were around here for the lab, I highly recommend checking that out and giving us a subscribe. I've got some ECU hacking videos and stuff up there, but there's going to be some amazing content on that channel and some great projects. And we currently do a little bit of a contest on there and stuff like that. So if you're here for car stuff and you want more car stuff that I'm involved with, please check that out. As far as other stuff, a lot's happened in my life over the last while. I was in a major car accident. I ended up breaking my leg and everything else. Mickey's Corrado, which there are a few videos of up on this channel, we were done with that car. Like, we just needed to buff it, and it was done. Like, he was going to take delivery of it and start driving it. And then a 73-year-old man decided to turn out in front of us. And when somebody turns out in front of you, like, normally you can avoid it, or if you can't, you'll like T-bone them. This man waited so last second to make his left turn that we went head on. And so I didn't even have a chance to hit the brakes or anything. And so I ended up breaking my leg, and I wasn't able to walk for like 6 months, which took a lot out of my life. I don't know if you can see, I have some scars and stuff on my face. And so that's from that, in case you were wondering. I always say that I have a lot of stuff to put up on this channel, and I genuinely mean that. Like, for example, I was messing with the Enterprise 3000 the other day, and I actually shot a video of it that I need to smash together and upload on this channel. It's just that I want to have like another car video to go with the computer video, right? So I kind of try to put that stuff up at the same time, so that way those of you who are here for just one or the other can take your pick, and those of you that are here for both can enjoy both. I have a TikTok now as well, and I was a TikTok naysayer for the longest time, but that is an amazing social media platform if you understand how to leverage it to your advantage. It takes a bit of training TikTok to, get past the dancing girls and that stuff. But it is a community that is as good as what YouTube was like 10 to 15 years ago when YouTube was in its prime. So if you want to find me over on TikTok, hit up at DoogieLabs. I managed to get more followers on TikTok in like 3 months than I did on YouTube in like 15 years. That's how different the algorithms are and everything else. And I've done some car and computer videos on there as well. So if you've come here for that, you will find that interesting on there. So as far as the content on this channel goes, I have a lot more car stuff in the works. It's always been kind of a case of the shoemaker's kids have no shoes with me. I took apart my Corrado like 2010 to, do it right. I wanted to get the car done right. And I just haven't had a chance to work on it because I've been pursuing other ventures and trying to, set myself up decent in life. And that's been difficult, to say the least. But with that being said, I have 90% of the parts I need for the car. The motor's being built by Schimmel right now. And so you're going to start seeing a lot more Corrado content both on this channel and over at the Finish Line Industries channel, which I highly recommend you give a subscribe to. You recently saw on this channel that I posted up the instrument cluster, and I got more work to do on that, but it's coming along nicely. I got my Mega Square ECU here, all assembled and ready to go for the fresh engine when it comes. And I also have what will be replacing the fuse block. So as many of you know, I'm replacing the main harness in the car and the fuse block. This is fuseless. So this is a Life Racing PDU X3. Life Racing is an OEM for Cyvex. So if you follow Project Binky and you were wondering what engine management they use Cyvex, which is developed by these guys at Life Racing. So this'll do everything I need in the car. It's got H bridges, so it'll run the windows, it'll run the spoiler. It's got a dedicated output to handle a windshield wiper motor setup. It's both CAN and hardware controlled. There are, hardware driven inputs. There are CAN driven inputs. There are CAN outputs. There are, of course, the hardware outputs. So we're going to go through step by step and build this whole car. And it's going to be between these two channels. And I am so excited to bring that to you because that's my dream. I don't want to do anything in this world other than put that car together and enjoy a car that I've built for myself, because that car for me has always pushed the envelope of what I'm comfortable with as far as electronics go or cars go. That was my research and development platform, and I have so much fun working on that. It is wholesomely satisfying to be able to do that, and I hope that you guys come along for the ride and see what that's like. In other news, my animals are doing okay. Daytona's still around. He's happy and as rambunctious as he ever is. Pepper passed away a couple of years ago now. He made it to 15. On his 15th birthday, we baked him a cake and cooked him a steak, and he loved every minute of that. It was so funny, the look on his face when he realized that whole thing was for him. He just got old, and it's really cool that he made it to 15, and I really appreciate him choosing us to be in his life. That was really cool. A lot of good memories there. So I hope that covers the vast majority of the who, what, when, where, and why of what's been going on with me and what's been going on with this channel. I have another hovercraft video that I will be putting together eventually. I have an E3000 video that I filmed the other day. And I do that using this camera. So this is the new camera setup that I do most of the Finish Line videos with. And it'll be really cool to bring you computer videos in crisp 4K quality. So I'll enjoy that. And we'll be revisiting a lot of the old computer videos that I've done in the past, simply because it's been, 10 years or more since I've messed with some of those computers. I got parts for the SGI Altics. We're going to bring back the Altics. And, the E3000, the G5 Quad. I still have the shiny Mac. I'm actually going to set that up as my Linux workstation at home again and start using that because I have a laptop now. All right, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you that have made it this far in my long-winded waffle, I truly appreciate you. I appreciate those who've stuck around throughout the years. I appreciate your support. Let's go ahead and take a tour of my office, my workspace, and the rest of the shop so you can see what I've been up to and what we have in store for you. All right, so this is my office. It's smaller than the office I had in North Carolina, but it suits my needs for now. I currently am using an Lenovo P17 workstation laptop, and that allows me to take my video editing home with me, which is pretty nice. I can work from home or work here as I need to. And this is my current electronics bench setup. I got the Rigol oscilloscope. I have a couple of Fluke 45s. I got an AM scope. I finally got my microscope camera, which sat in customs for 2 months. I got a new solder station and a proper hot air station. I appreciate Lewis Rossman for making those recommendations. Down here on the floor, I have a couple of HP bench power supplies that are GPIB controlled, and that goes to the remote outputs that you see on the bench there. And so this is how I perform my electronics repairs, board assembly, or anything of that nature. So this is the lobby area of the dealership side. We are also a dealership here, so you can get performance cars from us directly if you need. And over here is the lobby of the performance shop side and body shop side. We are also a body shop. And this is really cool because for those of you who have been on this channel before I went to the lab, know that I had a shop at one point, and the business partner that I had that shop with is the same gentleman that I work for now. We just basically have this facility now to work out of, which is a dream come true. I mean, this is everything and more than we had ever dreamed about 10 years ago. So this is the back area. Nice and spacious. We have 3 bays currently. And as you can see over here, we have the DynoJet all-wheel drive dyno. It's in the floor. It's nice and clean. It's easy to get lowered cars onto. We do a lot of work with this dyno, so if you need your car dialed in, be sure to come see us. This is a Cyclone that's getting an LS swap, and it's twin turbo. So that's one of the things that we're working on right now. And of course, we do a lot of dealership cars through here. You know, we are also a service department for our dealership. So that's where you'll see stuff like this. And this is one of the cars that went through the dealership at one point. So this is a Audi S4. So this is a supercharged V6 Audi. So this is the paint booth. Pretty big one for that. It's actually like a homemade-ish type thing that ended up here. But it works okay for the purpose. We do PDR out of here as well. And it's dark outside, so I'm not really going to show you this, but out that door and up the hill is the detailing bay, and we also have another bay that a 4-post lift is currently being installed into, so we can put an alignment rack in. And we're actually going to set the 4-post lift into the ground, so that way we can drive lowered cars onto it, and we'll be able to do alignments on lowered vehicles here. So that's going to work out pretty good, I think. I also recently launched a new website for us, finishlinenoco.com, and yeah, check that out. Let me know if you see any bugs in it, or let me know what you think. But this is a lot of fun. I worked at my first performance shop when I was 17 years old, and I remember when I got a job there, it was funny because mechanics would come in and apply like 3 times a week, and I'd come in there and be like, you know, here's what I can do. And I wanted to work there so bad, I was like, I'll do it for minimum wage. And that allowed them to take the risk, and they hired me. And I loved it. For whatever reason, I always enjoy working on people's stuff. But I don't want to work on cars for my entire life either. And it's easy for me. I can always fall back on IT stuff, right? But I figured, you know, while I'm young enough to still thrash and enjoy it, I'll build people's dreams. And you know, if I'm not in a place where I can be really well off in a few years, then I'll go back to IT and work there. But we have a lot of fun here. So this is the manager's office, and it's always kind of interesting hanging out in here because the customers don't really know that that's a two-way mirror. And so you see some interesting things hanging out in here. So yeah, here's a sneak peek of the next chapter of my life. I know I won't be doing car stuff forever. It really takes a toll on your back working on other people's cars, and especially since I do electrical and electronics, sometimes I'm wadded up under a dash. And I feel pretty fortunate in that I'm, as talented as I am, I can always go back into IT and I can do IT stuff and make a pretty good living from it. Car stuff doesn't always allow you to make a good living, but we also have a huge opportunity here to have, a pretty decent YouTube following and have halfway decent YouTube income because, this goes back to when I worked at the lab. I wanted to do nerdy car shit and bring that to the masses and have people entertained with that. And we simply couldn't do that because of the limitations that were imposed on us back then. And we have a lot bigger budget now, and I'm not micromanaged. No, nobody here is. And that's the beauty of it, is we're highly talented people that respect each other, and we come in every day and we bust ass and get stuff done. And I couldn't ask for a better situation, a better recipe for being able to create amazing content and nerd out with people online. Stuff like this, once the Cyclone's done, it's going to be wild. And I get to film the build process and help put it together. Like, I'll be wiring stuff on this and maybe even tuning it, depending on what's going on. So I do all the standalone engine management stuff here and more. It's really cool to have a dyno at my disposal. So, if you watch this channel and you're like, hey, I wonder what this does, or we can experiment, I can be here as late as I want at night using this. There's no limitations. There's no ridiculousness. So that's what's going on. And I've been doing this for the last 9 months. And this last week in particular was really intense and frustrating. And I'll have to say that this last week was the closest I've ever been to this feeling like work since I've started here. For those of you that have known me well, I've always had trouble getting out of bed in the mornings because for one reason or another, like I always liked working late at night. But by the same token, I've also always dreaded getting up and dragging my butt into a place that doesn't appreciate my talent or who I am, people that take advantage of me. And that's simply not the case here. I wake up before my alarm goes off sometimes, and it's set for 7:30 in the morning. I used to take, Rocco would say 45 minutes for me to realize my alarm was going off and hit the snooze button because he worked in the computer lab right behind where I was staying in the lab. And, that's just not the case here. And it's great. We don't micromanage each other or anything. We respect each other. And that goes a long ways towards creating something like this. So, yeah. So that's the end of my long-winded waffle. I hope you guys enjoyed. Stay tuned, subscribe. More in the pipeline. We'll see you soon.